Hi there, this is Colette. Welcome to this training, part of the Prosper with Purpose week 1 on creating your client. So let's dive in. So in this training, you're going to learn, first of all, why do you need an ideal client? Why is it so important? We'll talk about how to discover who your ideal clients are, and then perhaps most importantly, how to bring them to life. So I know what you're thinking. My business is for everyone. I have heard this so many times. I have felt it myself when I was starting up my own business. It's a very kind of common belief. We all want to please everyone, and the more people our business can help, the better, right? Because then the more money we'll make, surely. No, not quite. So maybe your business, it might feel like it's for everyone, but it shouldn't be, especially when you're just getting started. So I'm going to give you a bit of an analogy to try and help you understand why. So first of all, I want you to imagine you're getting married and you need to find a photographer to capture your special day. So which photographer would you choose? Well, let's have a look at a couple of choices. We've got here Pete's Portraits, and he does family portraits, pet portraits, weddings and landscapes. He looks a friendly chap. And then we've got Wendy's Weddings, and Wendy specialises in capturing each perfect moment of your special day. Weddings are all she does. So who are you going to choose? You're going to go for option 2, right? Because option 2, Wendy, she just does weddings. That's her speciality, and you want someone who specialises in weddings for your special day, don't you? You don't want just some kind of general photographer. You want someone whose passion is weddings. And the same is true for your ideal clients. The same is true for any business. The more people you try to please, the fewer people you will actually please. And that is why it's so important to have an ideal client. So if you try to please everyone, you'll end up pleasing no one. So who are your ideal clients? I want you to try a simple 10-minute exercise. And I want you to start off by listing everything that you know about your ideal clients, everything that you know they are at the moment. It might not be much yet, and that's fine, but everything that you can be sure of about your ideal clients right now, I want you to jot that down. I'm going to give you an example. We're going to use our lovely wedding photographer as an example. So her ideal clients, first of all, we know they're getting married because they're looking for a wedding photographer. So they're definitely getting married. Let's say for Wendy, she knows that the people she wants to work with, they prefer a more informal style because that's the way she likes to photograph. That's the way that she likes to work. So she knows the couples that she's looking for prefer that less formal style. She knows that they're based in and around London, UK, because that's where she's based, and she doesn't want to have to travel too far to photograph her weddings. And she knows that they have a budget of at least £1,000 for their wedding photographer, because that's how much she wants to earn when she does a wedding. So those are the things that Wendy knows about her ideal clients. So I want you to list all the things that you know about your ideal clients, as many things as you can come up with. Okay, now we're going to list everything they're not. So let's continue our example of Wendy, our wedding photographer. So we know what her ideal clients are. What aren't they? They aren't unrealistic about what can be achieved. So they're not going to ask her to create all sorts of impressive special effects, and they're not going to ask her to make them look a way that she can't possibly do. She knows they're not going to be requesting complex editing services. So Wendy, she loves to, she's a fab photographer, but she isn't particularly a fan of, the more complex side of editing, and so she doesn't want to do that. And so she doesn't want clients who are going to ask her to do that. they're not unwilling to take professional suggestions. So she wants clients who are going to be easy to work with, who are going to take on board her feedback, who are going to take on board her suggestions, because she knows that the clients that do that will have the best outcome. They will get the best results because she will be able to do what she knows is going to create those results. And they are not looking to get the photos out of the way. So they recognise that the photography is a key part of the day, and they won't be rushing her. They won't be trying to rush through them and end up, affecting the end results of the photography. So there we go. There's an example of taking a list of what your ideal clients are and what they aren't, and I want you to have a go at doing the same, and again coming up with as many examples for each side of the list as you can. Okay, so now you've got a good idea about some of the kind of characteristics, some of the viewpoints of your ideal clients. Now it's time to bring them to life, and you're going to do this by creating your ideal client story and by creating an ideal client inspiration board. So why bother? Perhaps you feel like I've already got my list now. I've got a good idea as to what my ideal clients are like. Why do I need to bother taking this next step? It seems overkill. Well, the reason is it's easier to talk to her than it is to talk to this. And by taking that extra step and building that story out around your ideal client, by creating that inspiration board that allows you to kind of really see and visualize your ideal client, it makes it much better to talk to them. And that's what you need to be doing when you're creating any of the content, any of the products and services for your business. It's all for this ideal client. So the more real you can make them, the more easy your job is going to be. So essentially, you're creating your ideal client story. You are turning this kind of statistic, kind of data driven list of characteristics about your ideal client into a real person that you can imagine, you can almost see, hear, taste, touch. So the next exercise that you're going to do is to write the story of the person that you most want to work with as if they were real. So I want to imagine your actual ideal client. Who would be the perfect person to contact you and ask to work with you? What would be their story? What would be their situation? So you're going to be including things like their name. Just make up a name. Giving someone a name makes them more real, makes them more easy to imagine and to visualize. You're going to give them a brief background. You're going to talk about their dreams, their personality, their age, their family situation, their career, their fears, and anything else that you think is going to help turn them into more of a real person for you. So let's look at an example of a brand story that Wendy might have created for her ideal client. So here we go. I'm going to read it out. Laura is 30 and lives with her fiancé, Tom, 32, in Wimbledon. She works in marketing for a major law firm and earns 40k per year. Tom is an accountant and earning 50k per year. They met at university in Southampton but didn't start dating until after graduation. They have no children as they both have traditional ideals when it comes to family and marriage. They definitely want kids at some point though, although they'll move further out of the city first. Laura is organised and practical, and this is reflected in her wedding planning. She has a clear vision of what she wants, but is open to compromise and taking on new ideas too. Both she and Tom are looking for something traditional. They'll marry in church and she'll be wearing a full white dress, etc. But they also want a relaxed vibe and hope their photos will reflect that. So that gives you an idea of what your ideal client story might look like. It kind of tells you a bit about who the person is, and what their kind of attitudes are, what their background is. So I want you to have a go, and it might feel a bit silly at first, but believe me, the exercise of doing this is going to be so helpful for you when it comes to really bringing your ideal clients to life and having that idea as to who this person is, so that when you are creating your content, when you are creating your products and services, you have someone real in mind when you're doing it, and it makes life so much easier for you. So then you're going to create your ideal client inspiration board. Now, personally, I think Pinterest is a great place to do this, but you could also use a tool like Trello, anywhere really, or even just a Word document or something like that. Just what you're trying to do here is just pull together any kind of images, colours, words, anything which will help to bring your ideal client to life. So you can see here I've pulled some images as to what Wendy's ideal client might look like, the type of dress that she might go for, the way she might dress normally, the kind of age that she would be, and so on and so forth. And anything that's going to help to bring this person to life for you and actually allow you to imagine them and to visualize them. Again, the more real you can make this person, the easier it's going to be for you when it comes to creating content. So time to get browsing. Pinterest is a fab place to go and get inspiration, as well as to actually create your board as well. Of course, Google is your friend. Go check out Google Images. If you know that your ideal client is, a 34-year-old woman who, who lives in the UK, type that into Google and check the images and see what comes up. Maybe even try typing her name in that you've given her and see what comes up, and just anything that really kind of hits you as being something that fits with who you imagine your ideal client to be. Get it onto that board, and then that can be something that you go and check back at anytime you're feeling a bit unclear as to who your ideal client is. You can then kind of re-inspire yourself. And Instagram as well can be another great place to go and get inspiration, to go and kind of browse for people who might be ideal clients, and kind of go and look at the language they use, images that they might be posting, the things that they're interested in, anything like that. Get it on that board, and it's going to help to re-inspire you. So that's it for this training. I hope you found that helpful. I would love to know who your ideal clients are. Do come and share over in our Facebook group, the members Facebook group for Your Business Lounge, who your ideal clients are, and any kind of aha moments that you've had. Maybe even just come and share their story with us, and we can give you some feedback. That's it for now. See you in the next training. Take care.